tell me when you're ready. Hi, I'm Ettiene, and this is my 2018 Ford Figo. Now this is the stressful part, eh? The rest was easy, you know. Okay. Okay, let's play some music. Turn up your volume.
Are you full boss? Are you so tough when you open the doors? Because of the
Miley Percocets, Miley Percocets, never chase a bitch. Can't hit from Tide Ball, that's a liability.
I was the same without it, but then I thought back to a better me. Before I was a B-list celebrity.
If you come have a look here, we had to physically, there was no space to run wires to the tweeter.
in that stock harness.
Yeah, in the stock harness and in the plug itself, it was very full. So what we opted to do is we took off the whole door, physical front door, and we drilled holes into the body and then ran into the rubber grommets on the door side. Everything's got grommets on, it's all sealed. So, and I haven't had anybody notice it ever, looking at the bolt. And that was the idea, just to keep it very low-key. It looks OEM plus, you know.
I was going to ask you, how long did this build take?
Well, I bought the car last year, January, at the end of Jan. And that following weekend, I started working on the car. Because I have a day job, so Monday to Friday, you're grafting, making bread, you know, getting butter.
And you're spending it here.
And I'm spending it here, bro. So yeah, and then weekends, bro. This car was built on weekends and leave day.
And then the lighting, talk us through this.
So lighting's basically done on an 8mm plexi. So that's all routed. So flush trimmed with the rest of the board, so you get that exact same shape. And then we run a blue light throughout the plexi, around the bottom, around the top. If it's really dark, you can see we've got some lighting in the fans as well. So everything matches.
Nice.
It's just the gap here is a bit thin. You've got about 2 mils of lighting there. So
That shines through there.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you have the same effect as around the woofers and around the logo panel.
But without the plexi.
Without the plexi.
Dodgy
places. So when somebody looks at the car, you don't want to detract from, okay, it's just a stock car.
Yeah.
You know, even when we built the pillars and the tweeter pods and all of that, it had to look OEM. We had a guy with a figure at the shop as well. He jumped in and oh, my car didn't come like this.
Yeah.
And we were like, yes, because they don't come like this. This is made like this. And he was kind of like, but how?
Yeah.
You know, how did you get the finish? This looks OEM, and that's the whole thing behind the car. Was
The sole point of the build.
once the car's closed up, it needed to look as stock as possible. You know, like Ettiene says, the low key thing. We needed to keep it.
I thought
low key.
I thought low key was like when you jump in the car, then the car goes low, and you know.
Yeah, well, it's double meaning. We're pun intended, you know.
Wow. Okay.
You know, you're a big boy, you must make big statements. So if you look here, Naresh, this is the amp rack. Basically, my friend Mark van der Riet from Street Ready Motorsport did all the metal work, and I know I frustrated him with this amp rack because this is the fourth one in the car. So it was designed to basically go onto the rear seat bolts that holds the bottom seats in, so I didn't need to make holes. So, and obviously this backings of the amplifiers are all custom made.
Does it normally come with steel?
Yes, yes. So
aluminium
normal.
one, yeah.
Yes. So what I did is, I have a thing when I buy amplifier, I open it because I want to see what I pay for.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't care about that sticker that says warranty void.
Yeah.
Because brands like Didi, even if that sticker would be missing from a reputable dealer, they don't have an issue, you know.
Yeah.
So I always open the amplifiers and take pictures, and I was thinking, you know, I always wanted to do show amp cuts because these are nice amplifiers. So I decided to do the frame. They all riff nut to the amplifier or to the frame. They've got plastic washers to help some of the vibration not run through the whole system to get some disconnection. These perspex are all made to spec. So what I basically did, I took off the plates, went to a signage place and asked them, this is what I want, this is how it should look, this is how it should fit. And basically I think they laser cut it, if I'm not mistaken. And then, but also what I wanted to do is show off my wiring, because unlike a lot of car audio guys that hate wiring, I love it, you know. So I wanted to do something where I can show it off and make it nice and neat, you know. So I opted to do dual inputs from Vibe Audio, the copper inputs for the DM, and like that's dual zero gauge running there, all OC copper. I've got the auxiliary fuse holder there. That basically, so everything runs from the rear. The whole, everything I added to the car.
Yeah.
The head unit, the DSP, everything's there, controlled by relays. So there's really nothing that doesn't work from my phone. So if I switch on the app to the Sony, my system's on, the fans are on, DSP switches on, so it's standalone to the car's electronics completely. So if you look closely here, you'll see all my connections are on plugs.
Yeah.
So the system was designed, it looks complicated, but it's really easy to take in and out. It's about a 10-minute job to get it in and out.
Okay.
So if I need to access my secondary battery, it's quite quick, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
So the idea was to keep it clean, clean and mean. That was the vibe, you know.
Clean and mean.
Clean and mean. So up front I wanted ease of use, and I also wanted something to display, you know. If you open the bonnet, it's usually boring. So what I said to Grant is I want something to be flashy. It needs to be nice, because the engine bay is boring. I basically gave him carte blanche on the matter. He took a boring little metal pole that goes on there that ties down the battery, and doubled it as a fuse holder. So it ties down the battery, and I have a fuse holder as well as available. So I have obviously the first upfront battery, or the front battery on B1, the alternator feed from the stock alternator, which is 120 amp alternator, and then this is running to the rear battery. So I've got, as I said, a positive and negative zero gauge running to the rear
And
distribution.
then 2 spares.
Yes, and 2 spare fuses.
And then everything that's done on the positive is done on the negative, from what I see.
Yeah, actually there's more done to the negative than to the positive, to be honest.
Before we get there, what's this cool thing here?
Oh, this is my little charge point.
Okay.
So when I get it home, I have 2 batteries, and I know I have a stock alternator. So I understand that it's a limitation, so I always make sure that the batteries are maintained. So I pop my little knockout charger in here, my Genius knockout charger, and I forget about it. Tomorrow morning when I leave for work, it's charged. I know the batteries are maintained.
Just
Happy
unplug.
days. I said to Mark as well, you know, all your metal work in the car, like the amp rack he did for me. He did the radio bracket, the battery for the secondary battery. There's a metal bracket that he ties down to. He did a lot of metal work for me, and I said to him, you know what, all your metal work's painted, bro. So you can't show off your welds. So I said to him, let's do intake on the car, you know, just to show off your welding, because this guy obviously can weld, you know.
Looks cool.
Okay, so if you have a look here, there's double grounds going everywhere. The alternator is ground to the body. It goes to the battery. It also runs then from the battery again to the chassis, and to the gearbox mount. So I wanted to get the ground as strong as possible up front, as I'm only running one run of ground to the rear.
Walk us through the build.
22 mils all round. It's got 2 braces inside, so double brace between each 8. Double layer 22 on the top.
Yeah.
So yeah, rock solid. Second skin spectrum inside to damp the wood and all the rest of it. You see, the thing is, guys don't realize that you need to build the box as solid as possible. You don't want any flex in the box, so that you can get the optimum out of the actual sub.
100%.
You know, you need to brace it, whether it be an 8-inch sub, whether it be a 10-inch sub, whether it's getting 150 watts, whether it's getting 2,000 watts. You need to brace the box, even if you're using a 16mm box. You know,
Even if you're using a
brace it.
6-inch woofer,
brace
you
the
still
box,
need a solid.
build it as solid as possible. Seal the box off, make sure everything's airtight. Little things inside the box, damp, you know, get rid of panel resonance inside the box. Stupid little things, but in the end it all makes a big difference.
A positive difference.
Yes, and again, you want the speaker to do the work. You don't want other factors
To do the work.
not to do the work, but I mean, if you've got a speaker that's going to do X,
Yeah.
and you now have a box that's resonating at Y,
Yeah.
you're now losing all the X.
Correct. Yeah.
So
Kind of cancels a bit. Yeah.
exactly. Build rock solid. So we've got one fan that's sucking cool air in, and one fan that's blowing it out. So we've got a full circulation of air
One set
all
on
the
the
time.
side, yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
The cover there basically
Is
keeps
open on the
everything-
sides, keeps everything in.
Okay.
So you've got a full circulation of
happens.
air going through the amplifiers all the time. That also works on a module.
Yeah, I've seen
So-
that interesting looking little bolt box.
Yeah, but so basically how it works is the amps get to a certain temperature, because amplifiers have to be at temperature.
Correct.
It's like an engine of a car.
Yeah.
You can't at 10 degrees hammer
Want to hammer it.
hammer it. So amps have to have an optimal temperature. You can't cool an amplifier that doesn't want to be cooled.
Yeah.
You know, so it's set at I think we got it set at 60 degrees or so.
Yeah.
So the fans will come in at 60.
Yeah.
They will then, it'll come in at 65.
Yeah.
Bring it down to 60. The fans will switch off.
So it's not a variable
So
speed. where
it's
it
not a
comes-
variable speed.
Okay.
It'll come in, cool the amp back down to 60,
And
switch
then
off.
again.
Yeah.
So obviously, like every latte my age, you know, getting older now, we watched Fast and the Furious back in the day, right? So I started buying the Speed and Sound magazine as a latte after I saw you could modify cars in Fast and the Furious, and then I started seeing, you know, you can do turbo cars, you can chase power, you can do car audio, and obviously being on a budget, I didn't want to chase performance. So next for the car, the idea I have is doing an iPad dash, taking out the OEM head units, because it's not working in any way. So do a nice iPad mini dash, maybe a Mecmum alternator, go up to a 240 amp, do a lowering kit on the car, maybe nice rims, full exhaust. So yeah,
But that was your whole intention.
yeah, that was the intention, low key GP. So from the outside it's just a Ford Figo, on the inside it's a cinema, you know. That's what I wanted. And the Figo, I knew what I wanted, I just didn't know how to get there, you know. So it's just it's a rabbit hole. Once you start going down it, the more you hear, you can't unhear it, you know. And once you go down that rabbit hole, you just don't stop. It's better amplifiers, better speakers, better cabling, better RCAs. Spend more on head units. Start spending more on speakers. You know, it's yeah. If you want to save money, don't do it. But if you want to be happy, do it. It's something that makes me happy. You know, it's my escape from reality. But yeah, I don't think the COVID thing was very kind to our guys. You know, so we have a car and it's built and nowhere to go. You know. It's kind of sucks, but the car is mainly for me. So the fact that it can't go to a competition doesn't really faze me, in the sense that I still enjoy the system every time I get in it. Okay, so I want to give a big shout out to Mark van der Riet from Street Ready Motorsport for all the custom metal work. I know I frustrated you with that amp rack. We've done that thing many times, like 4 times. Then I want to shout out to Mike and Renier from Didi, South Africa. Big shout out as well to Deerwold, my little appy, Wynand Ackerman, with his help with the sound deadening. And then last but not least, I want to give a big shout out to Stickles, aka Grant Rogers from Bespoke Audio for all the fabrication work. It's a shout out to Naresh, bro, like, for setting this up and organizing this. This has been a dream of mine since I bought my first issue of Speed and Sound. Like, I knew like this was a goal. I wanted my car in that magazine one day, and today, like, standing here and it's a dream come true. It's amazing.